Hi all. Right, welcome back. Enemy Action Kharkov, Soviet Soul, Take 2, Part 78. We're up to now. So, yeah, this turn is not finished yet. General Field Marshal Erich von Manstein decided that the Germans were going to do one last thing this turn, and then within that, the major offensive said that they'd done a bit more than just one last thing. Okay, yeah, we've had a bad turn here, and yeah, knowing that we're going to lose our Western Soviet support line now is rather devastating, I think. Well, we'll just need to see what happens and try and work our way through it. Okay, so yeah, von Manstein card says after completing this activation, conduct another German impulse. So here we go. And hopefully I've shuffled things up right, but I'm pretty sure I shouldn't be able to draw the von Manstein card, so. Okay, 57 Panzer Corps Kampfgruppe card. Just looking at the event air introduction, but we don't have a Soviet forward support marker up. So deploy all reserves. Oh yeah, I suppose that could be a thing that could have spoilt things. Because we're still. Oh wait a minute. Oh no. Oh dear. It's funny you don't look at these. Well, I don't. Maybe I should. Hang on, I've not deleted the part. Right, hang on. I need to clear the last video off. I've obviously not deleted it. I copied it across and I've not deleted it off the phone yet. Right, give me a sec. Okay, that's better. Right, more space. Yeah. When I was moving these German units about, not really thinking about things, but look. This guy's came into here, blocking the road into Kharkov, stopping the supply trace down this road. Ah, man. It just gets worse and worse, doesn't it? Well, there's absolutely nothing I can do about any of this, but I suppose I'm just looking to see what pain is ahead. I think now that guy's going to be in an isolated state and not be able to trace supply, because the whole bit of this was to come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to reach this hex here, and then trace down this road. Not through here. Of course, he wasn't there at the time, but. Yeah, bad's getting worse and worse, but. Okay. Well, it's. Again, I've not said it for a while, it's the first attempt at the game. Maybe I can learn from these mistakes. Mistakes, well, I don't know. Well, maybe learn from what's going on, and yeah, I certainly made a mistake when Martin had pointed out that I could have got Trace back on that. That now makes me cringe a bit. I had an air supply card in my hand, didn't I? But we had to use it in the end for that. It was assault coordination, wasn't it? So that would have meant, although we're still not finished with the Germans yet, that would have meant that these guys weren't in supply. But it's going to be a bit harsh because I think I'd take a step loss now. Right, okay, enemy Grant, can we get this turn finished, please? Right, so there's nothing to deploy. Activate all 57 core units. Activate the 57 Panzer Corps unit. Right, there's a misprint there. With the most 57 Panzer Corps units in its 2x radius, and all units stacked with those units. Ooh, well, I'll tell you what, he's got a couple units stacked. Well, maybe they're scattered about a bit as well, aren't they? Right. I'll go and show you what I'm talking about. There's a big picture. Yeah, we've got one down the bottom here. He is reduced. Yeah, he's reduced, but it's a camp group activation, so remember it's got to be the most within 2, and he's got a buddy here, so either one of them would activate 2. Well, hang on. Yeah, it only checks for the 57 core units, so we don't check. These don't come part of the check, the units underneath, but they will become active if that's where the check finishes. Well, there's 2 here as well, and there's this guy separate. Let's see, further up the map. I'm not sure what that is. It's got, yeah, it's got quite a bunch in it. Yeah, it's got a 48 core unit that's dispersed down the bottom, 48 core unit on top. That's interesting. And then that. However, he's only 1. There's not another one in here, is there? No, they're second SS. So he'd be a camp group of 1. And then this would be a camp group of 1. This would be a 2. And worryingly, I think this is going to be one that's going to hit. This would be a 2 as well. And if I remember, just after the last stuff, it's easternmost, isn't it? So if units are tied for having most core units in their 2x radius, select the easternmost unit, then the southernmost unit. So this is the selected unit, and he picks up these 2, and then it also is going to grab them. I don't like that. That just looks like it's going to... this is getting worse. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do yet, but this is an area that we want free to be able to trace supply for the pop-off units onto this road. And look at where we're activating. We're activating right here. There's definitely no others about. No, it's not that big a core then, is it? Okay, so it's going to activate these 2 units, and then all units stacked with those units. So these 3rd core units are going to become active as well. Oh goody. Okay, so hopefully this should be for the last time. I was looking at action steps 5 to 7. Surely they can't come up with... Well, I suppose this card could not find anything at all. We know air interdiction's not going to trigger because we've not got any forward support markers. But yeah, you can, and they are both adjacent to Soviet units. So well, maybe. Well, let's go through it anyway. So behind Soviet lines, no, they can both trace supply or both stacks. Move to VP hex. Let's chuck that out of the way. No, there's not a gap for these Soviet units to get through. So just looking at this VP hex. Right, no. I'm going to say no to that and move on. We're going to draw a couple of action cards then. Good. Okay. So draw 2 action cards. Right. We get a forward attack. Soviets exposed. Not seen that for a while. So the forward attack is first to consider. Okay, situational strength of active unit stack and other active units. Okay. Right, that's going to tag them all in then. Approximate to 3 times. Greater than or equal to 3 times. Looking for the weakest target, non-active, proximate units and lead units. Core. Ooh. That could be nasty too, because this whole stack's active. He's not going to be the lead unit. This is going to be the lead unit. So I'm going to put him down the bottom for now. I know it's 57 core that activated, but pretty sure that's right. because it activates all units stacked with those units, so they're all active. He is the lowest selector number. He becomes the lead unit. So if he were to enter a battle, we could we could then have to consider some other third corps units that are lying about here. Okay. Right. Well, let's see if 3 times is quite a lot to get. Okay, what's the value of the card? It's a 2, so that's not going to give any minuses. This is not a major offensive. The units are going to be in support. Yeah, we're not going to find the units not in support. And apart from this guy way down here is dispersed, but they're not going to be looking at that. I don't think they can get down to that, can they? No, they can't. So there's not going to be any minuses considered in this check. So, well, straight off this, well, what have we got? We've got 5, 6 strength there, but potentially, obviously, he's an active unit too. So 8 strength. Yeah, this is unlikely then, isn't it? That's a 5. But 3 times 5 is 15, not 8. That's a 4, 3 times 4 is 12. So, yeah, not 8 again. And this is a 3. I don't actually think, no, because there's no gap here for them. No. Yeah, not going to be able to achieve that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can't find nothing with that. It's just not quite enough. And there's no point checking other units. That was the most strength we're going to get, and it's all in this area. So let's move past the forward attack option to Soviets exposed. Okay, a card we were all worried about early on in the game. So active supplied unit stack proximate to Soviet unit stack with situational strength less than 2. Yeah, that's a tough one to get, isn't it? Situational strength less than 2. Well, if we had something within their range that had less than 2, we would have moved on to it with the forward attack. So, yeah, can we not just skip by that quickly as well, Grant? Right, and that starts getting you worried that are we going to find anything on this card? Okay. So yeah, I'll leave them as is because he is the lowest numbered unit. We've got 4, 15, then 17. So I'll leave them in that order. But these 2 stacks are the active stacks. So that's step 3 and 4 checked. So step 5 is in descending order. Move to hex, removes dangerous sound from German unit in hex and Soviet support, or enables supply trace from German occupied hex. Right, do we have anybody in dangerous round then? Let's open the picture up a little bit. Right. There possibly is. This guy's in dangerous round, but the problem is I don't think these units can get through. So right, don't get lazy here, Grant, though, because this is one that catches you out all the time. So going to pause there. There's probably as much as we need to see. There's nothing further up that's worth looking at anyway, I don't think. So let me have a look. Yeah, there's surely not an awful lot to look at. The fact that these units cannot get through this gap, and these 2 units are not in dangerous round. No, they're not. And even this guy up here, I looked at him because obviously we could move up and around to help this guy, but he's not in dangerous around. These guys cannot move from here to here because they're zone of control. And then we've got another German unit around here that's surrounding here. These guys cannot move into here, so he's not in dangerous around either. So yeah, I'm going to skip on by that. I think I know it's been one of the ones that stumbled me, but surely, yeah, well, hopefully you get to watch the footage back first, Grant. Right, so step 6, move proximate to empty Soviet VP hex, if not already proximate. I think it's too far really. There is one in the corner way down here, and one up here, but well, I've looked at this before and sometimes it surprised me. So looking at this guy, he's going to be the best chance, but he's breaking zone of controls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he can reach there, but as you can see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still a wee bit away. Not by that much, but enough to say, no, Grant, it's not happening. Right, now we're starting to get worried because if we don't find anything to do on this card, we're throwing another one. So 7, move to hex that causes surround of Soviet unit. Probably unlikely then as well, isn't it? Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on. This guy's not surrounded. He's got an out hex here. Zone of control. He can move to here right now, but if one of these units were to go out and in, well, these guys could go out and in, that would be 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5 into there. I think that would surround them. And this guy, if we could get a unit into here. That doesn't surround him. He does have an out hex here. No, that doesn't surround him, but I think that move into here would surround these guys. Right, they're definitely not surrounded at the moment, are they? We've got zone of control here, 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 but not here. Yeah, so if something, I mean, it could be this infantry unit. Maybe not, because he's crossing that. That's 1, 2, that's 3. Oh no, he can, because it doesn't cost him crossing. So either or, somebody could come in there, and then these guys are surrounded, I think. Zok, 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 zok. Yeah. Okay, right, we're getting to do something. Well, that's good, but it's bad. Now, is it interfering with our supply trace? I don't think so. I mean, we're looking at this guy from afar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then he's on that road to come down. So, no, something moving into, where was it we said? Here. Would not interfere with that, thankfully. Right, so it's in descending order, this, isn't it? Move to hex that causes surround of Soviet unit in descending order. He's a 12. Well, we're actually going to go to a 17 here, aren't we? So this guy could go. Now, I think that's only hex he can go to stop this. I don't think you need to mess about with anything else, Grant. So it's 1 breaking zone of control, 1 crossing the minor river, 1 for the clear hex. So it's 3, and then 4 into there. And that guy's surrounded. Right, hold on. Restrictions broken. Yeah, there's... Oh no, hold on. That one gets away with it, doesn't it? Yeah. Causes surrounding. That allows him to not care about being in dangerous around himself. Or causes surround of Soviet unit. It's quite good we're going to lose that restriction next turn, mind you. That only applies between turn 4 and 7 if not in dangerous around, don't end in dangerous around, so should make things easier from then. Yeah, so, and he's not breaking any other restriction, he's leaving units in the hex, they're not in any danger of surround. So, although he's in danger of surround himself, because this guy could go 1, 2, 3 into here, it doesn't matter because he can, because he's surrounding a Soviet unit by moving here, he doesn't care about being in danger surround. Okay, good. Right. Well, is there any other possibilities? I want to say probably not, but yeah, none of the units can surround any Soviet units. I was quite fortunate we found that one, I think, because yeah, that's all they're going to do, I think, this turn. So yeah, I think I'm happy with that. I mean, we don't know what the next card is, so we could always take a wee sneak peek at it after this impulse, because it's going to shuffle up. Because if they didn't have this to do, we would then move on to step 8. If not adjacent to Soviet unit, move closer to nearest Soviet unit. All these active units are adjacent to Soviet unit, so we move on by, remove disperse markers. There's no disperse markers to remove. So if we didn't make this move, we would be discarding this card and drawing another card. So yeah, that is it. So short impulse. Well, we still managed to take 20 minutes to do it, but that's all he done. Yeah, feeling okay about that? Okay-ish? Well, we look at the top card. Well, you know what? I'm going to carry out the end of turn stuff and get, because that's it. That is the end of the turn. Right? It is, isn't it? There's no more impulses to be had for them. They've had enough. Right, so let's check the back of the book for end of turn phase. Right, zoom out there a little bit. 4+, we check victory conditions. Our victory conditions on this day are, if we've got less than 17, it would be a German victory. We're sitting at 20 points. How horrible is that? One short. I never thought about it when we were going through the turn, but I'm not so sure I could do anything about it. They took at least 2 points off us that turn. Alright. Camera's a bit tilted there. They took at least 2. It might have even been 3 points. I'm not sure I was at 23 or not. I think it might have just been 2, but I never thought about the time, but I think there's very little I could have done. There's nothing I could have done. Well, yeah. I don't know, maybe there was a chance to chuck a combat tactic in when I realised that, if I lose this victory point, I'm not going to have the Western support line next turn. So, and then sacrifice the fact that, because I had it set in my mind that this was my last impulse and what I was going to do. Would it have been better? There might have been a possible combat tactic to use up here to have a go at stopping them from taking the victory point. When I realised I was going to go down to 20 victory points. However, it's been and gone. Right, okay. So, and then we've not got greater than 25 victory points. No, we don't. We've got 20. Okay, return all combat chits to the cup. We will do that. There's quite a lot of them this time, actually. They replenish quite a lot now. It's much more than it was in Ardennes because of the way it's changed up a little bit, which is fine. Yeah, don't mind as long as you know what you're doing. Remove all dispersed and forward support markers. Well, there's no forward support markers, he says bitterly. So there's dispersed there, and you know what? There's also one buried amongst that, which I'm going to go and try and find. Okay, got that. There was one down the bottom. I've changed them up a bit. The 47 8 core units are on the top now. And there's that 57 core unit down the bottom. And then we had one dispersed pop-off unit down here. And I think that was all the dispersed units. Yeah, that's all I can see. Remove German garrisons unable to trace reserve supply. Well, garrisons. Well, they've actually still been messing about. This one messed about quite a bit, didn't it? Messed me about. They do come into it. Reserve supply, no problem. No problem. No problem. No problem. There is a one up there. And that's it actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I can only see 5 of them. There's nothing in here. This is the closest one to the action, but he's fine. He can still trace reserve supply. Yeah, no issues there. 6 to 12. Reveal the ground condition marker for the next game turn. Okay. So up to the calendar here. Now we got Frozen last game turn, and Frozen does nothing. However, let's see what we get this turn. Oh my. Right, heavy mud. Right, that's the one that... Reveal ground condition markers for the next game turn. Yeah, that's when we do it, end of turn phase. Could that be good for us in a way? It might. I don't know, because I don't think much happens in this impulse because of that. I mean, we only get this once per game, I think. No, actually, that's not true, because I think they get shuffled back in again for the later turns. Right, well, we've just revealed it. Advanced game turn marker to next calendar space. So, well, yeah, we're moving into here, Grant, aren't we? So I'll bring my active 1 unit. Never used it. Game turn. On to turn 8. Right, so I suppose we should kind of look at what heavy mud does, though. Oh, right, there we go. It's in the sequence of play. From turn 7 to 13. Well, this is going to be turn 8. Heavy mud game turn sequence of play. So the reserve phase as in standard sequence of play. So that's still the same. Card preparation phase, conduct step 3 only, which is place supplemental discards from previous game turn face down in available supplemental card box. So it looks like we're not getting cards. And then 3 supply phase, skip. We're going to skip the supply phase. Oh, well. Okay. Skip, except remove out of supply and isolate markers from units in hexes and supply. So that means their German unit's not going to go get any worse. However, it does mean we're not going to, our isolated unit's not going to get any worse. But it's just skipping right through things though, because we're not going to get to do anything. Command phase, skip, except each side receives 2 infantry replacement steps. And then end the turn phase as in sequence of play, but no victory check. Yeah, so you don't check victory if you were getting... well, to be honest, we could probably run right through that just now. I'm only at 28 minutes. If that's what we've got to do for this turn. Well, no. If that turn 8 hadn't went so bad, and we had got a better turn 8, that would have been a good thing for us, because we would have been moving right into turn 9 pretty much, with you know, the chance to sort of maybe look for that victory at the end of it. But good luck with that one, Grant. Okay. Well, I think I might as well do that. Mind you, I'm not sure I've got the time, but 28 minutes. Come on, Grant, you can do that. Right. Oops, sorry. Zoom out when you do that, if anything, Grant. Right, give me a sec. Let's look at this properly. Okay, yeah, I think we should be able to get through this. So the reserve phase is first. So let's just do that. Right. So the Corps Raus units are going to deploy, aren't they? Well, you know what? It doesn't matter now, does it? We've not got a supply trace anyway. So deploy eligible German units already in reserve box. Well, let me just check. Conduct as in the reserve phase we conduct as in the normal sequence of play. Okay. Deploy eligible German units already in reserve box 9.0. Right. Yeah, we just deploy them as normal, don't we? Excuse me. Yeah. Okay. Right, let's get them down and see where they're going to go then. Okay, I've got them down here off the map. They are the 3 Corps Raus units. So yeah, it's been a while since we've done this. Right, so we do check method A first. So hex is empty, right, it's a position hex meeting all the criteria, and the reserve unit's arm area. Right, well their arm area goes to this line here across. Yeah, okay. And right, among qualifying positions, a VP hex. No, I'm just glancing at that. They need to be able to trace reserve supply, don't they? Yeah, they need to be able to trace reserve supply, so you've got to remember this side of the map is not able to trace reserve supply, so they do need to trace it up through this bit somewhere, up to the other side of the map, this edge of the map basically would do it. So I'm saying VP hex just to get these priorities, maybe just, yeah, that's where I wanted to get to. Within 3 hexes of a unit in the same core. So obviously we've got this guy here. I mean, we do have this guy down here still. I mean, it would have to deploy from there but come on. You're not telling me can trace reserve supply from anywhere there, Grant. 1, 2, 3, you know, here or here. You know, I can get up to this road, which I can trace into there. Oh no, I can't, because I'm tracing reserve supply, remember. So I can't even trace through that unit. Yeah, well, let's forget about this guy down here, because that's silly talk. Okay, so can we get any hex within 3 of that guy then? Because that would be the preference, and we're better looking for that. Right, well there's the picture, so I'm going to pause and have a look. Right, I've just chucked the cube at 55 because it boils down to the last preference is lowest position number, and this is 55, and it's within 1, 2, 3 of that. Now, do they need to be... Yeah, see, they don't need to be right. Okay, and bear in mind we're looking at this is just deploying unit number 9. He's first in line. Okay, let's consider that as a possibility, and go through the the criteria that's needed. So it needs to be a hex, an empty hex or garrisoned, so garrisoned, yeah, or a city hex occupied by a 1 German step. Right, there's none of that. So in reserve units army area, yeah. Not in Soviet artillery barrage zone, no. In German reserve supply where reserve placed in this hex. Well, yeah, you can trace to the map edge. 2, 3, and then off. And we're disregarding garrisons. See, there's no garrisons up in this area, so it's fine. Unit would not be in danger surrounded, placed in hex, unless. What are the unlesses? Just in case. In a German city, in a German map edge hex, placement removes danger sign from our German. Or 5+ hex outside Soviet support. There we go. So it doesn't matter if because he's outside Soviet support. Just in case. I'm not so sure he is in danger zone, but then this unit can move around. So it is, yeah. I don't think so, but it doesn't matter anyway, right? Hex is not Soviet town or city, and it's not adjacent to a German unit. Okay, so that is a legitimate hex for it to go to. So preferences would be a VP hex, well, no. Within 3 hexes of the unit in the same core, and that's why I picked that one. But there's maybe multiples, this one and this one could be as well. So let's just say that there is possible other options. C as hex that removes danger sign from an R German unit or enables an R German unit to trace supply. See, that's when you do need to maybe consider like so this hex. Would that? Is there any? There's nothing in danger around there, Grant. Come on. This guy's surrounded, so that's not coming into it. No. Let's move on by that. It wouldn't matter. So then D is not in dangerous surround. Okay, so that is a priority over the lowest position number. So we do need to check. Well, it makes sense, I suppose. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can get round to there. Remember, isolated unit can't move though. But I don't think these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Was breaking zone of control. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's the best he can do. And an isolated unit, I don't think exerts zone of control, does it? I'm pretty sure it doesn't, but yeah, no, it doesn't. Isolated units don't exert zone of control, so yeah, I don't think he's in danger then, because he can move to this hex. We can get a Soviet unit there, but he's got an out there. Because remember, he's isolated. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's okay then. So it keeps us ticking over with getting to the lowest position number. Where are we? A non-map edge hex, well, no, it's not. Again, we could have been looking at these possibly. Ooh, what is that? 63, but that one's 55, I think, isn't it? Yeah, that is lowest. So, but then it boils down to non-map edge hex before lowest number anyway, and then the final one is lowest number. So yeah, pretty sure that guy's going there. Okay, right, what about the next one then? Hey. Right, give me a sec. Okay, I started looking at this hex first. It's 70. And then I thought, this is 58. It's still outside Soviet support, but then again, it's not actually surroundable, I don't think. And it is within 3 of this Raus unit. And I thought, well, surely not down here, but I actually think this guy, and the reason I thought this one at first, it's adjacent to a German unit, this one, which is one of the bits that it doesn't want to be. However, the unless is that it can be adjacent to a German unit that can't trace supply, and placement would enable it to do so. So if I placed that Raus unit there, he would be able to trace 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 onto the road and then away for supply. So that is a valid option. And then it got me thinking about this one. So, well, let's run through the criteria again. Empty or garrisoned, reserve units arm area. Sorry about ploughing through this again, but it's the way I do it. I like, it keeps me right some of the times. And German reserve supply, well, I wondered about that, but he can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 just onto that road and then off for reserve supply. So, and this guy's fine with that too, if it was to go there. So that's fine. Oh, how have I missed that? Well, I've got away with it. How did I miss the Soviet proximate? That's where I used to always look, isn't it? I skipped on by that. Well, placement of this guy. However, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it proximate to the hex? Yeah, so a Soviet unit would be proximate to this. So that was kind of lucky. I don't know how I managed to skip by that. Okay, so a Soviet unit is definitely going to be proximate to this, and would be proximate to that by going out and in. Yeah, so that works. Unit would not be in danger surrounding placed in hex unless in German city, no. In German mappage hex, no. Placement removes danger sound from another German unit, no. Hex outside Soviet support. So both these are outside Soviet support, so we don't care about that just yet, but it will come down to preferences. Hex is not Soviet town or city yet. Not adjacent to German unit unless, like I say, it's adjacent to German unit, can't trace supply, and placement would enable it to do so. So that keeps this one a possibility, because it's going to get supply for that guy. But remember, this is a 58, this is a 70. So let's go into the preferences then. A VP hex, no. Within 3 hexes of a unit in the same corps, yes, both of them are. Yeah. I was just looking, I suppose I was just glancing up top there, because, you know, could there be any lower number? But there's not. So we'll stick with what we've got. Hex that removes dangerous surround from another German unit or enables another German unit to trace supply. Oh, bingo. Right, that's actually going to come into it before this then. I didn't think about that at the time. So hex that removes dangerous surround from another German unit. It's not doing that, but it enables another German unit to trace supply. I think that's going to be our target. Because yeah, I mean, at the moment this guy's surrounded and he's not got a friendly unit adjacent, so he cannot trace supply. He's going out of supply. However, if I deploy that guy there, he can trace supply, not reserve supply, but he can trace supply in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's on the road and away. So yes, good one. Okay. Could it possibly be the third unit goes here and surrounds these units? Yay. Maybe? Right, well, we've got one more unit to deploy. Well, let's just keep that as a possible. Yeah, it's proximate. This feels awful easy. I hope I'm not missing something obvious here. Well, it looks like I almost was, and not checking proximate, but there you go. Well, let's check that one, right? It's an empty hex, empty position hex, yeah. Reserve units army, not in Soviet artillery barrage. In German reserve supply. Yeah, I already checked that one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is just. However, I could. Nah, well, you know what? Just is enough, shall we say? 1, 2, 6, 7. Yes. Where are we? And German reserve supply. Right, Soviet unit proximate to the hex. Disregard garrisons. Yeah, I mean, this guy can just move into the hex, not an issue. Unit would not be in dangerous surround unless it's outside Soviet support. It is just outside Soviet support, so that's fine. Hex is not Soviet town or city. Not adjacent to German unit unless, well, it's not adjacent to German unit. So qualifying positions, VP hex, no. Within 3 hexes of a unit in the same corps, it is. Yeah, just looking in the newly placed unit, but we're still not beating a 50 A's 57, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So 58. I don't think we're beating that. We're not at that yet, but you know. C. Hex that removes dangerous round from another German unit or enables another German unit to trace supply. Right, because this unit might be in dangerous round now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he is in dangerous round. Could that maybe remove dangerous round from that unit? I actually think it's possible. Like, just sometimes nice to see these with the unit in the hex, so I'll just put that in there just now. If we deployed him there, I need to go back and double check that hex, because obviously I think he's got an out hex. Well, in actual fact, yeah, he can't. Oh no, he can't. This guy's almost surrounded now with that guy going there. So he can't go out and in like that, because this guy, he can't go from here to here because this, and he can't go from here to here. So I think that does. I mean, if we don't have that guy there, like we've said, this guy can go 1, 2 breaking zone of control, 3, 4, 5 into there. And these infantry can go 1, 2, 3 breaking zone of control, 4 in there, and surround that guy. Okay. Hex 83. Let's just bounce back to that and just double check quickly. It's in German reserve supply, yes. Soviet unit proximate, yes. This guy can go 1, 2 breaking zone of control, 3, 4, 5, yes. Unit would not be in danger surrounded placed unless it's outside Soviet support. It's outside Soviet support, we don't need to look. It's not adjacent to German unit. Preferences, VP hex, within 3 of core, yes. Hex that removes danger surround for another German unit, yes. Bingo. So it's actually going to be that one then, and not that one. Yeah. And look at that, none of that stopped this guy from being able to trace down to this road and then along. But however, as we now know, this guy spoilt the party, so nah. Okay, I think I'm going to go with that. I feel quite good about that. As always, reserves are one of the parts where you're Not 100% sure about. Okay, so where are we now? That was deploy eligible German units already in reserve box, yeah. Step 2, the reserve phase 3 plus, you may deploy Soviet units in reserve box with printed game turn 2 hour and well, nothing in the reserve units box. Now we transfer all reserves from current game turn calendar space to their reserve box. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so the Germans get another single infantry Raus unit. It's a 3-stepper though, with 5 strength. So they get that. And we get 2 infantry units from First Guards, 1 of 4 strength, 1 of 3, just 2 steps as well. Okay. Right, so we now move into the card preparation phase, and it says for heavy mud that we conduct step 3 of this phase only. Step 3 is place the supplemental discards. That's these. From the previous game turn, face down in available supplemental card box. Oh. That's all we do. Right, I'm just double checking these are supplementals. 4, 5, 6. There should be 7 of them. Right, so these get placed down, face down. Is that right? That means when we do the prep phase next turn, we're going to shuffle all the supplementals. That's kind of going to reset things, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, well. Yeah. Conduct step 3 of this phase only. Place the supplemental cards from the previous game turn face down in the available supplemental card box. So these just get placed face down. We don't need to shuffle them because that's going to happen when we... Yeah, and these should be still our 6 primary cards. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6. So that's all that gets done in that phase. Okay, so next phase is supply phase. So it says skip this phase, except do remove out of supply and isolated markers from units and hexes from which supply can be traced. So all that work to get supply for these guys, I'm not even checking. However, yeah, I mean, it's a kind of turn you're just kind of skipping altogether. My guess was that if this actually happened in the battle, things kind of stood down for a bit. What is it? The turns are 3 days long, so this guy cannot trace supply though. However, let's stop and revisit that one just in case, Grant. So hang on. Skip this phase except do remove out of supply and isolate markers from units in hexes from which supply can be traced. I'm not so sure this guy cannot trace supply now. If we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if we get onto this road here, now going down is still a problem because we can't get through here. However, going up, we go into here, and remember it's just normal supply they need to trace, isn't it? Yeah, it's not reserve supply for this. Yeah, I'm not even. Yeah, don't look there, Grant. Well, it looks like he is in supply then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I say, he gets onto this road here, and then he traces through here, because this is a time we had at one point in the last turn, or within this turn, and then traces in there. I mean, you can, to be honest, carry on up this road here and away, or he could take a left turn here and find a way out. So, you know what? There you go. He's not in any issues. However, a guy up the top is not going to remove his isolated marker because he cannot trace supply. He can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the best he can reach, which is on a road, but like we said, comes along here, and now this is occupied by a German unit. So he's going to keep what he's got. Right, let's get this finished. I have managed to stretch this out. So that's the supply phase done. That's all we do in that phase. Just remove ones that can trace supply. Command phase. Skip this phase. Instead, both sides receive 2 infantry replacement steps. Assign Soviet replacements to 2 eliminated. Not eliminated. Eligible Soviet infantry units of your choice. Then assign German replacements to the 2 eligible German infantry units with the lowest selectors. Okay. So it's any 2 eligible Soviet infantry units. But it would have to be when the guidelines. It would have to be on map first, and then wouldn't it? Assign Soviet replacement to 2 eligible. Yeah, I think when it says eligible, it still means you've got to go by, reduce 1 step infantry on the map, then infantry in the eliminated units box, then mech units on the map. Yeah, you don't get to, in fact, is it not? Yeah, it's only Soviet infantry units. No, I'm not sure if it's allowing you to not pick units on the map and pick them in the eliminated units box there or not. I'm going to go by it's just you pick them on the map. Right, so I'm going to look for 2 infantry units that are 1 step on the map and repair them. Hi all, right, back to finish part 78, this is, isn't it? Yeah, I ran out of time last night, so I started looking about for 1 step infantry units, and I thought, it was a bit late, so here we are. Now, so I've highlighted them, I've brought them to the top of their stacks. My options here, there's only 1 up this area, and that's the 40th Army unit in there. He goes back to 2 strength unit. That's what I meant to open the book up, just to double check what the conditions were for replacements there. Supply requirements. Soviet units must be in supply, in a hex, and support. Okay. Must be in supply, in a hex, and support, and from which supply can be traced in order to receive. So they've got to be able to trace supply as well. Now, I don't think the way this is talking about it breaks any of the conditions. I mean, it just says assign Soviet replacements to 2 eligible. Yeah, that's it, Grant. Because surely they've still got to go under the supply requirements, you would think, yeah? Yeah, I'm going to have to go by that. So in actual fact, this guy is out of Soviet support, so he's not an option. He was the only one up there. A couple of mechanised units, but obviously I can't select them. So we are actually coming down this way. So it is going to be stuff down here anyway then, because of that supply. Not that I'm sure I would be that fussed about that 40th Army unit. So what do we have down here? Well, we've got this pop-off unit here. Now he is in support. We go to a 3 strength. This 1st Guards Army would go to a 4 strength. And then finally we've got this whole stack of 6 army units. The top one would go to a 4 strength. I think the second one's a 3, and then the third one's a 2. So they're all in support, they're all supplied. And when I say they're all in support, we've not got around, I'm assuming that's, no, wait a minute. when do we check that's in the supply phase? But it's saying we skip it. Because we would determine the Soviet support line. Oh. Are we scoring a big one here? Because from... This is turn 8. And in the supply phase, normally, on step 3 of the supply phase, we would determine the Soviet support line and use this turn. However, the heavy mud says that the supply phase we skip, except remove out of supply and isolated markers from units and hexes in supply. We're scoring a big one there. That means we're going to stay in support. And when I mean stay in support, I mean use the Western support line, I think. That feels... I mean, the way that's written, but it feels a bit odd. Let me go back. Yeah. Check Soviet VPs to determine what Soviet support line to use throughout the game turn. This is step 3 of the fifth supply phase. 14.51. Determine support, hex is in support. Right. Starting on game turn 8, the Eastern support line is used throughout any game turn in which the Soviets start the turn with less than 21 victory points. I think I should put a little question out there, just while it's... I mean, it does seem to be clear to me that it's saying skip this phase. Yeah, I think it's worth still asking, because that could have been an oversight. Because remember, the heavy mud only comes along for it to hit on game turn 8. However, surely that's being considered. You would think. To hit spot on game turn 8 though avoids that check. However, no, hang on, Grant. It checks every turn, doesn't it? From now. 14.51. Yeah, from turn 8 onwards, it checks every turn. Okay, I was halfway through typing out my question there and then realised it's a stupid question, as I'm sure you are all aware. Because I'm not having a turn here, Grant. I'm going to be conducting another supply phase for turn 9 very shortly, and then we will check and find out that we don't have the 21 victory points. So just as I caught myself there. Honestly, I've got the question half typed out, and then I looked at it again and thought, wait a minute, this is all you're doing in this turn, because the next part is the command phase, which we skip, and that's where we're on just now. We're receiving 2 replacement points. And then we have the end of turn. So then we go into turn 9, we conduct the reserve phase as normal, the card preparation phase as normal, the supply phase as normal, then we will come down to our support being within here. Yeah, okay, right, caught that one. Although I've just exposed myself to it on camera anyway, that I was thinking along these silly lines. Just shows you what my mind can do from time to time. Okay. So why did I get back to the supply phase there? Yeah. So at the moment, however, I suppose while we're checking this, that's fair enough. So it is valid for checking this. So while we're checking this, we still have support on the Western support line because we've skipped the phase that checks. Right, okay. So we still are stretching out to there, so that's fine. So our options were what? This pop off, this first guards, or any one of the 3 6 army units. And we can pick 2 of them, and sorry, they needed to be in support, which they are, going by my thinking that we're still using the Western support line, which I'm pretty sure is right. I don't think I need to. And then what was the other one again? They're all supplied, but can they trace supply? Right. So it looks like these can't. And by the way, I've noticed up here. I mean, again, Was there much I could have done about this? Possibly. I remember having a third tank activation, but it was quite far back where I maybe could move units, knowing that these were going to get surrounded. Maybe I should have, you know, foreseen that and like done something about it. But I mean, could I have stopped? I mean, you just see what I was saying about the importance that they've put into danger of surround in this game, which wasn't within enemy action or den. Now, I should realise that the reason that they brought all that into this game is because of this. Look at this. I've got these surrounded, these surrounded, these surrounded. None of these units can trace supply as well. Because, I mean, I've not taken care of that. I could have had units adjacent to... I mean, I know this is all happened within the last... Well, I'd say the last German impulse, but it lasted about 3 blooming impulses, didn't it? 3 or 4 activations. I don't know what was going on. It was even, I think it took up 2.5 parts all by itself. Maybe over a full 3 parts. It went on forever. But yeah, I mean, lots of units going out of supply. And yeah, okay, the big one was down here about getting these units in supply. So hopefully these are. So yeah, I think I checked this. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's not 4 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 onto this road, and then they can come down here, which is just as well because this is shut off now as well. This part. So that means that unit can trace supply. This unit can trace supply. However, these units are surrounded as well. So. Here was me wanting to avoid that unit so he wouldn't go in there and surround them, but did this guy must have come down, didn't he? I think he come down. I don't know. It's clearly something you need to think a lot more in, but that's where my thoughts like that are going deeply into trying to avoid. I mean, it would then mean you've got to try and play the game like the AI. And say, right, I'm going to move there, but am I in danger of surround? You know? I think that might be just a bit too much for me. It's hard enough trying to work out the AI's dangerous surround without trying to work out my own as well. But possibly it should be something you should consider. And look at units that you know are going to get surrounded and at least give them some freedom, you know? I mean, even the Germans have that built in, you know? Did we not do it near the end there for the Germans? Yeah, this guy got deployed there so that he could trace supply for that unit, you know. I mean, he was going out of supply, but now he's not because they deployed the unit there. Yeah, okay. Well, right then. So, well, we've no choice then, have we? We've only got 2 options. We're allowed 2 replacement points here, aren't we? Receives 2 infantry replacement steps. So it's got to be this guy and this guy because these are not able to trace supply. So that'll be that then. This one, fortunately, this one goes from a 2 to a 4, so that's good. This one only goes from a 2 to a 3, so he's 18. I'll put him down below. But yeah, yeah, turn well, which is now going to be turn 9 is going to be quite something, I think. I've no idea what I'd start doing now. I feel like I should still be trying to fight back for these victory points, but as of what's going on up there, I don't know. I mean, I can't retreat these guys now, but I feel like if I could move them, I would probably just retreat back to Kharkov and try and protect that because it's going to be in trouble soon as well, I think. But then again, a lot of units have moved away from this victory point, but well, you know what? I can't move the guys, so and they're going out of supply, as are quite a few. Yeah, I mean these are all going out of supply, so they're more than likely going to get attacked at some point in this turn, at least once. Okay, so that was that, wasn't it? Yeah, so now we've got to get to German units as well, haven't we? Then assign German replacements to the 2 eligible German infantry units with the lowest selectors. Okay, so as long as they're eligible single step infantry units on the map. Right. Okay, I'll go and find them. Oh, I can see one right away. I just hope I can find another one, because then I'm worried about, do I need to go off map as an eliminated units box, but it doesn't really make that clear. Right, let me have a look anyway. Oh, I've spotted another couple. Right, we're alright. Yeah, so there's actually 3. We've got 2 40 core ones here. Now again, they need to be able to trace reserve supply, don't they? The German unit must be in supply and in a hex from which reserve supply can be traced. Yeah, and maybe dispersed. So they can both trace onto this road, and a way I'll give them reserve supply. So their units 18 and 17, what am I looking for? The lowest selectors. So 18 and 17, and then the only other one I can see, because most of the stuff further up there is all mechanised. Well, it is all mechanised. We do have this 57 core unit here. He can trace reserve supply, and he's unit selector number 18. So we've got 2 18s and a 17. So I can't see any others. The Raus units up there are okay. They're all full strength. This one that was out of supplies, full strength. There's a couple of 3rd Corps units up there, but are full strength. Yeah, so that means the 17 will be one of the replacements. And between the 2 18s, this is 40 core and the other one is 57 core. So we'll go for the lowest core. And like I say, he can trace reserve supply. Remember, this is not, this hex side is not reserve supply traceable, but we can, like I say, 1, 2, 3 onto that road and away. So they're the 2 German replacements, I feel. Okay. Right, so that's the command phase, basically done. That's all we do. So end the turn phase, conduct as a normal sequence of play, except do not check for victory. So we go back to end the turn phase, and we skip the check for victory, which wouldn't have mattered either. We needed less than 16, greater than 24. We are sitting at 20, so we're in between. Return all combat chits to the cup, well that's already been done. Remove all dispersed and forward support markers, well that was already done, so no need to check. Remove garrisons unable to trace reserve supply, no need to check them again. And then now we reveal the next ground condition marker. I'm so glad I didn't post that question. But I've told you about it here, haven't I? You're going to know. Right, crap. Right, so we're going to reveal the ground condition marker for turn 9 then. And we get frozen again. So that's fine, isn't it? That does nothing. Okay, and then advance the game turn marker. So I advance, activate 1 unit, game turn marker. Oh. Soviet supplementals dropped to 6 there, by the way, on game turn 8. Just as well, I spotted that. So actually, I'm not sure what it is on 9 because of these counters. I think that was a poor choice by them. Oh, it goes back to 7, so we would have went down to 6 and up to 7. Yeah, I think that was a poor choice. Don't know why they didn't think. I mean, they had it in the. I mean, looking at the very last page, just on the inside page, just another copy of the calendar. Nobody's put anything up there yet. I don't know if you're allowed to. I suppose if you took a photo of it and posted it, would you need permission to do that? I've never done any of that stuff, so it's just, I mean, you can't see anything. You can't, without moving all that stuff out of the way. And nobody's told me an obvious way around that, so I'm guessing I'm not being stupid. Or any more stupid than I normally am. Right, so that's us, isn't it? So we're just about to start, and it's a frozen game turn, so frozen conditions, weather conditions, ground conditions, which has no effect, conduct the game turn as normal. So, yeah, right, well, I'll take this bit off because I've got the other bit ready to be copied onto this, and I'll get this uploaded through the day at some point, hopefully get a wee chance to look back on it first. And I'm not sure if I'll get right back just now or not. A few things I need to do, so no doubt I'll get another part done today at some point, though. Okay, I'll leave it at that for now, and I'll be back with part 79 then, won't it be? Sometime soon. Okay, cheers.